Welcome to Mornings with Patty. Today I'm reading from The Courage to Change. It's July 11th. The topic is dealing with anger appropriately. It seems to me that many of us deal with our anger in inappropriate ways, denying it, we stuff it, or we go off in a fury, directing the feelings outward. I, for one, opt for avoidance of any conflict, and then I turn into a doormat. My spiritual practice encourages me to acknowledge the feelings, my feelings, and to be responsible for how I express them. The problem is not that I get angry, but that I do not know how to direct my anger appropriately. Lately, when I feel like hitting somebody, I take my pillow and beat the daylights out of my bed. When I want to wipe someone out, I attack my dirty oven, and sometimes I'll go into my car and just scream. I try to release my anger as soon as I can so that I won't build resentments that will be harder to get rid of later. I'm learning to communicate my anger too. I may not do it gracefully, and my words may not be well received. It means facing the awful discomfort called conflict. But I can't run away anymore. Feeling our feelings is one important part of the spiritual process. Learning how to balance feelings and appropriate action is another. This is a really important reading. I am that typical doormat, although some of my friends might not agree with me. But dealing with anger is probably one of the biggest things that in society that we're doing, and doing it and dealing with it appropriately. I have been in loving communities, more than one, where somebody's rage will come at me. I've been in work situations where I have had people yell and scream at me, and then I have also done the same. And it's usually at a point because I have built up resentment that I've internalized the chaos, and whatever is inside of me is going to emotionally vomit on other people. And that's kind of how I see rage and anger. It's okay to have anger. It's how you express it that is the most important piece of balancing your emotions, your anger, with appropriate action or a loving action. So how do you do that? For me, how I do it is I don't express the very first thing that comes to me. Remember the other day when I talked about think before you say anything, is it thoughtful, honest, important, necessary, and kind? If I can't do all of those when I'm angry, then I'll take a breath, I'll take a beat and say, excuse me, I need a break, and I will come back to it. Let's talk about this later. Do not act on your emotions, whether it's joy or anger or bitterness or resentment. It is so unloving. I'm not saying it's wrong, it's unloving. And who do you want to be in the world? Do you want to be a loving person? Do you want to be the one who people feel safe with? Or are you going to be the one where people feel unsafe? Is your goal in the world to be a loving person in every situation that you can? Or are you going to be that person who has to tell everybody and give everybody a piece of your mind? Usually that piece of your mind is unloving and it's unhealthy and nobody wants to be around you. Or you find people who do want to be around you because you bitch and complain about the same shit. That's not the kind of person I want to be, and those are not the kind of people I want to hang out with. I want to be around people who are loving and supportive and say, hey, I got you. And if some anger comes up, I notice it in my body, wherever it is, and I physically feel it. And then I love that part of me that feels hurt, that needs to be heard, because nobody else is going to do it for me. But I do want to give all of those of you who have a tendency to let everybody have a fucking piece of your mind, and after you yell at them and you notice the look of chagrin or horror or disappointment or sadness on that other person's face, When you do that and you recognize that your anger had an impact that you did not expect to have, go to that person and say, I'm sorry I hurt you. Don't argue with the other person. Don't say, can't you see it from my... No. Stop your bullshit. Stop your constant anger at somebody and say, I'm sorry I hurt you and I won't ever do it again. To me, that is the most healing thing that you can say to somebody. If you like this kind of content, like, follow, comment, and subscribe. Love you.